Hello, everyone. You are here at ESA Marathon watching Break the Record Live featuring Dark Souls Remastered, where 7 speedrunners attempt to break the world record over the course of 3 days. We're actually in our last hour of this event, where we cut off the resets on runs, and the only runs going will have a chance to continue. So at 1 a.m. Central European Time, that is the cutoff for all runs to reset. If anyone resets after that point, they cannot go back. Only the runs going can continue. The energy, the moments, and the competition have been insane today, as we saw 2 back-to-back world records, 5 minutes apart, between Olsku grabbing the world record, Catalyst taking it back 5 minutes later. So our runners are competing for a portion of a $5,000 prize pool generously provided by our sponsor Kaspersky. The current world record is 102.23. Will anyone threaten to take this event as it closes off? Will any other runners shake up the standings on the leaderboards? My name is Ashwin, and I'll be your host for the remaining of this event, along with 2 knowledgeable Speedsouls members, Kermit and Ben, who are going to provide commentary for these runs. How are you guys doing?
Not
Great.
Bad.
Exceptional. I feel like I've said that same one-word answer every day, but it's true. I'm feeling great.
It's exactly what I want to hear. It's like
Yeah.
both of you great, exceptional. I love the energy. I'm going to need it a lot because this has been a long weekend for me. And let me tell you, watching those world records back to back today had my heart pumping out of my chest. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I've calmed down since.
Considering how hype you were yesterday when Kat got the 102.30, to see then having 2 records within 5 minutes, probably.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I'm surprised you kept it together.
I
I think that may have even, I might have even held my breath a bit too much.
I think I'm experiencing now, because I had to step away from my computer after that shift, was just adrenaline crash. Because I felt like very fatigued and tired afterwards. But hopefully it'll be okay. So how are the runners doing right now? We have 6 runners up. 6 runners going in this final stretch. Gentov, Olsku, Dan, Catalyst, Nax, Iron Boy. 2 of them looking to close runs here. Who should we be paying attention to? What should we be looking for?
Personally, I'd like to just see Gentov, just because he's still sitting on the 112 and he's currently, I think, still on pace for 3 minutes ahead of that run that he posted. I think that was on Friday that he got the 112.
Yeah.
So I'd like to maybe keep some focus on him for a little bit until Iron Boy at least is on the Gwyn fight.
Gentov has been struggling all weekend to try and close a good run, and he's so capable of it. It's just it's within reach.
Yeah, I think it's just down to the fact that he is so much more inexperienced than everyone else at all bosses. He's mainly just an 90% runner.
Mm-hmm.
The number one word that a lot of us have mentioned when we talked about Gentov this weekend has been potential. And it's about seeing your potential. He has the potential to get, you can see his summer best yesterday. I was talking about this, and it was a 105. And I was talking about the potential for him to go all the way further down. His summer best is now a 103.27. That is how much he has improved, which is absolutely insane. Every single run he is getting on now, he's between 3 and 5 minutes ahead of PB.
Mm-hmm.
All he has to do is close one out, and he will be smashing down the leaderboard. So there is a solid chance that we could see Gentov go ahead, start finishing runs, and go from 7th place to a potential 4th, 5th, around the middle of the leaderboard.
Right. And he does have a run going right now. If anything goes wrong to this one, I really hope it doesn't, then he will have time to start up another run before that reset period cuts off. But his splits have been a little bit off this weekend, so we haven't been able to rely on them completely. But like you said, just potential. And even if these 3 days are hard. I mean, think about it and just put it into in perspective here. Sometimes it takes weeks and months for people to PB, let alone get a world record. And we're counting on runners to try and do it in 3 intense days. This takes a lot of perseverance and determination and just willpower and execution to get these kind of runs going.
Yeah, especially with a category that is as difficult as remastered all bosses. Like, you've seen so many talking points this weekend of sections where you can play perfectly and your run can still drop dead right in front of you. And that is not only, uh, a learning experience that you have to take in and potential wasted time towards the event, but also a complete mental tax on
Yeah.
how many runs you can see drop right in front of you just when you're about to get towards the end, just when you're in that Gwyn fight, just when you're on the final stretch. How much can you possibly take before it starts taking a real effect on your gameplay?
Okay. Come on, Gentov. Let's get that clean Gwendolyn.
Yes.
Nice job. Nice job, Gentov. Still in the green here. But it's the mental tax that I'm worried about here. Like you said, Ben. Just I can't imagine what it's like to be in these runners' shoes right now.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest things where it's like you look at runners like Olsku, like Nax, like Catalyst, like Danflesh, they're so experienced that they're used to losing these runs. Those kind of runners have probably lost 100 runs, if not more, of really great pace runs that they, would have tilted them off the face of the earth. But you get used to it after a little while. Now, Gentov probably doesn't have that, so it does affect him a lot more because he's not used to those kind of huge, awful defeats and how bad it feels when it does happen. But that doesn't mean that Kata and Dan and Nex, are immune to it. Even though you have that experience, there is also a huge amount of pressure to play at such a high level when you have 2,000 eyes watching you. Imagine how it must feel to know that every strat, as difficult as they are, people are expecting you to nail them. It's an insane amount of pressure.
Yeah.
And the mental fortitude required to perform an event like this is way beyond what you should expect from most people.
And they're eager, they're willing. All of them have about the same amount of attempted runs, like not even just the event. Let's put the event aside. In these splits, I know some people run some different splits for events like this, have above 400 attempted runs on this category. And I'm sure much more on different splits. I'm sure so much more in practice. It's wild. Catalyst actually is in the ONS fight right now. Hope I
I've got
didn't
my
catch.
eyes glued to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see like what happened in the beginning of the Ornstein fight there. Did it go smoothly?
It was a solid opening. Yeah, it was the lunge opening. I forget exactly what you call it, but it's pretty much ideal. And this Smo is also pretty much spot on.
That's awesome
So
for Catalyst.
that's a really solid fight.
He's actually at a really good pace here. I want to say that he's going to get to the door around like 1653 or 4, which is not bad. I mean, Olsku showed us an ONS in 1707 during this event. This one is still pretty great. He probably will get the split at like maybe 17, like 14 maybe, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a lot of places to put your eyes right now because you have Kata, who's just got past a big wall. You got Gentov, who is just entering Gaping. And you also have Iron Boy, who is on the second to last split. He is going towards Priscilla, Gwendolyn, and then all he has is Gwyn left. And I say that as Catalyst. He baited me there. I was just about to say as Catalyst drops dead, but it's the Death Warp. I just looked and I saw him dead, and I was like, I put my words in my mouth. It's so difficult when you're looking at all these different things. You look back and somebody's dead, and you assume it's bad, but it's the Death Warp. I got baited.
Ooh, look at that gold on Gentov right now.
It's crazy how like even though he has smashed his summer best all the way down to like a 103, he is still consistently playing at such a level that he's still golding splits. Like if this event was a week long, his summer best is probably going down to like world records here. Like his individual skill on each segment is incredible. It's just about piecing them all together.
I think there was a look of disbelief on his face when I think how quickly he got like the setup to jump down to the gaping dragon. He actually just like head like controller up there. He's like, what's going on? Like as he quit out.
Yeah.
So that was nice. I think that's maybe part of his time save there for the goal, just getting that jump first try. Or maybe
it is extremely difficult to do.
You said Iron Boy's, like about to finish up a run here. Is it going to get him an event PB?
Let's have a look.
There's a best possible time of 1:07:59. His event PB is 1:07:52. Gwendolyn has to go extremely well. And let's see what kind of like splits he's running against. We can't tell because he splits on both.
Looks like it might be very close.
But pull him up.
Either way, if he does finish this and it doesn't end up being a PB, then he still has around 45 minutes to get another run going.
Yep.
And if I was him, considering that Gentov is on pace to beat him right now, I would definitely be getting a run going as soon as I would be finishing this, and I would be getting as many attempts as I can to get that 106. Because I would not be, confident in my position right now.
So, like, Kermit, maybe you can tell us something about this. This is the last 45 minutes before the reset period ends. What would you be doing now as a speedrunner? Like, trying to get those last runs in?
Probably trying to take it easy, just make sure, stay calm, don't get tilted by any of these, RNG, especially an RNG death. If you were to make a mistake, don't chastise yourself too much. It's just the mental game, I think, is just most important. Because, as we've said, everyone is a very, very good player here. So I think as long as they can keep themselves calm mentally, the gameplay will sort itself out.
I'm also thinking about how the first 18 minutes of a run are instrumental. We just saw Catalyst get past ONS at around 17:20. It takes about 18 minutes to get that run going, and they have 45 minutes on the clock. So if they're going to get at least back-to-back runs to ONS to see whether it passes that big wall or not, they can get 2 at max if they're resetting right now. All right, Iron Boy coming up to Gwendolyn here. This has been kind of either 2 different ways people have been dealing with it, either being really aggressive or just waiting out the RNG. I think... Oh, yeah, that was too close. If you saw what happened there. Nice. That was all right by Iron Boy. A gold on that segment, 2 seconds. Can anyone explain the Gwendolyn fight? Why do you need to keep 2 pillars away from Gwendolyn as you're approaching on that last stretch?
So once you get within, I don't know exact numbers, but once you get within a certain proximity, Gwendolyn will teleport away further down. Mm-hmm. And every time he does that, it's just straight up time waste. Because the corridor is technically infinite. It's not really. It's one of those ones where it's so long that it seems infinite, but it isn't in actuality. But yeah, the fight is simply, if you get too close, he will just teleport further and further down the corridor, and you'll have to run and catch up every single time. So that 2 pillars is just a nice amount of distance, so you can get within a hit with the right attack, but not too close to where then he'll teleport away. It's the perfect middle.
Sort of why you saw Iron Boy run circles around the column just to try and bait out another attack and make sure there was no teleport shenanigans going on.
Yeah, because I think if you get too close and you don't have let's say an arrow attack or a preferential attack, then Gwendolyn will just teleport away, and you don't want to spook him. He's easily spooked.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially, I would be easily spooked too if I saw someone coming at me with Dust Crown and Dark Bead that could one-shot me. I would be very spooked as well. I would be teleporting down that corridor so quick.
And no trousers on either, and just a tiny little shield.
Yeah.
Lovely combination here by Iron Boy. I don't know if this will PB for him. It might, actually. Very nearly, but it's... might not. I don't know. I'm trying to do the math on top of my head. I think it's actually going to go over his PB.
Yeah, I don't think it takes a lot of time. Possible.
Yeah,
I don't think a PB is possible here.
It's going to take at least 7-8 seconds after Gwen kill.
Yeah. But it's going to be very, very close bonfire. And a very solid run. As we were talking about, we've mentioned about so much consistency when it comes to Iron Boy, and this is no different.
Oh, he just went right over. Yeah.
56.
4 seconds slower than his event PB. But well done by Iron Boy. Oh, a gold on his Gwyn. Fantastic.
Now he needs to get those credit skips, and he needs to get going.
Yeah,
it's Monka S point right alarm clock right now.
Yeah,
He's got 42 minutes.
12:18 a.m. Central European time right now, and he has 42 minutes to get a run going, and he needs to go now. Whether he chooses not to or to go for another run, we will see. But I don't
He
know.
has to.
I feel like I would. Like it's the last 42
You
minutes,
have
right?
to.
Yeah.
I can completely understand Mintius because of what time it is there. You know, it's like 7 a.m. or something. It's
Yeah.
insane. Like I wouldn't be playing for that long either. But Iron Boy, he has to go.
Especially like if Gentov's on pace, you know that he could take $100 off of Iron Boy's current
Exactly.
prize. So I realise that it's very late in Russia right now. Like they're 3 hours ahead of us in the UK, at least. 2 hours
Depending
ahead
on which
of
part of Russia.
CET.
Yeah,
Well,
potentially even 4 or 5 a.m. depending where you live.
Gentov keeping up that pace. Going into the Isla segment and approaching his famous split. Imagine finishing a run. Now, I'm imagining it for Gentov, and I'm so excited for him. I really, really hope he gets this. He's, I mean, according to this information, I need to look thoroughly through it. 4 minutes ahead of his PB. A best possible time of 1:08:07. Currently, he has a 1:12:03. He could bop Mintius. Are there any potential time saves on his coming up segments?
Oh boy, we can have a look at the stats and see.
Let's crunch some numbers.
No need to speculate. Exactly. Let's get the metrics out.
We all like our data.
Exactly.
Especially when we speedrun. Data is everything.
Indeed.
I think Iron Boy is still kind of contemplating here whether they're going to get another run going. I would probably take a look at my competitors and see, like, do I want to go again?
Scout the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He might be going for it. All right, we got Nax and Dan in the early game as well. Olsku just finishing off Iron Golem here. And Catalyst heading towards the C segment. So they're going to be performing the Golden Floodgate skip.
Cat a little bit in the red here, but he did have. I think he actually most of his time save was in the early game. I think wasn't it that he could have saved.
Ooh, another gold by Gentov. Ceaseless.
So there's several seconds on that summer best. It's just tanking right.
Yeah, all eyes on Gentov right now to finish up Fire Sage, which we have seen a death to this weekend, or maybe even 2.
We have?
Yes.
Oof.
Fire Sage, I can't remember who it was. Yeah, it gave an AoE attack that you have to get out of range for, but someone got caught along the branches, couldn't get out of the way, lost a run. Then go to Bed of Chaos, not get Firestormed. Get the RTSR set up in the kiln, head to Gwyn. Don't pull a Nax and forget to parry, or like miss the parry on Gwyn.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nax.
I hate to see it.
I mean, yeah, you can never be too harsh on Nax because that is a curse. You know, you've seen it at the ESA events when people have submitted it to the main marathon. He is not the first, and he will not be the last Speedsouls member to die to Gwyn there.
You know what Nax's biggest curse this weekend, okay, is actually his controller. That's his biggest nemesis this weekend. Not any of these splits. It's actually been his controller. You think the Gwyn death was bad? His controller disconnected twice in 2 different runs. Died once to Calamite, once to Dogs, and then decided to run and finally connect his wireless Xbox Series X controller with a cable.
This is why you don't use wireless stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of find it a curious choice, right? Because it's like, brand new controller, brand new series. We're doing wireless runs. Interesting choice by Nax.
I can never trust wireless equipment. I'm way too paranoid. Everything I use has a cable, if I can. I actually ordered a new mouse today because my Logitech G403 has served me for a long time, about 4 or 5 years now. But the mouse wheel is starting to wear down a lot to a point where it's becoming quite inconsistent, which is bad for runs.
I want to say I'm not paid to say this, but that is one of my favorite mice of all times. As an FPS player, I love
yeah.
it.
It is really good. So I've kept with Logitech. I've got one of the Pro Series mice, but yeah, I would not buy a wireless one. Never, ever, ever.
The technology's coming along.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
To be honest,
as we see Gentov, he's killing the centipede with no real trouble. He's doing it.
I didn't actually know for the longest time that if you take off a certain part of the centipede, I mean, you get the charred ring early. I didn't know that was a thing for the longest time, and I felt like I'd had it was a revolutionary when I found out about it.
I think it's just to make the fight easier if you have to come back.
Exactly.
And do it again.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited. Really excited right now. Because I'm rooting for Gentov. I've really been just hoping for a fantastic run for him this weekend. I know he's so capable of it. And to finally see him in like sort of like the last like hour to get a run going that can PB.
Also, just died in the ONS fight. It was such a nice looking start, but he just got sniped by the lightning.
Kata's run ended too. That was pretty much in sync.
Nax and Dan about
and
pace
Nax
gear. Nax!
Well. And Nax.
Oh.
That is 3 of them down.
Last 36 minutes. 3 runs in the trash like that.
Yep. And Iron Boy has decided to restart. So he's back on the attempts, trying to get one going in the last half an hour or so.
I would say in this last half hour, we might be seeing some of the last attempts because, you know, to get to ONS, 18 minutes. We might get another attempt after that if it dies at ONS. But
it's scary.
Yeah, I don't know how many of the runners we're gonna have in the final hour here after this.
Hopefully as many as possible.
Yeah, well, it depends on the runs they get, I suppose.
Yeah. It would be a shame to see, like, a load of final attempts die extremely early on after the cutoff point.
Yeah, it's like, cutoff point, 1 a.m., 1 a.m., 01. All of them just dead.
Yeah. Or they all run to Hellkite and every single one of them, Miyazaki just drops them. That would be terrible.
No. Alright, Gentov. Let's hope that he gets this. I love that, like, earlier on in the day, like, we had Dan in this segment, and there's so much time on the slide before a bit of chaos. He just, like, takes a massive stretch, and then just gets back into it.
Yeah. It's good practice. Get the posture, you know?
It's the most downtime you really have for the whole run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath, but I definitely am holding my breath. Interesting, he's going for a left first. Always see runners go for right first. That's very interesting.
I assume
Did he miss the bomb?
He missed!
Yeah, he missed the bomb. It was too far left, I think.
Oh no.
That is heartbreaking.
Run over, yeah. As we mentioned yesterday, if you die to Bed of Chaos or miss a bomb, it's like 4 minutes down the drain because you don't rest at any of the bonfires on the way there.
Yeah.
So, it's over.
Oh, Gentov.
Need to go and just walk that one off.
I would
not got along, but take a couple minutes.
I would walk it off. I think that's the best thing. 5 minutes, come back, see if you can get another run going. If he wants to.
And we were saying before about how runs can tilt you. Imagine how tilted he's feeling right now. Because if that were me, oh boy, I'd struggle to do another run. Like I would be beside myself.
Mm-hmm. If anyone's had the most pressure at this event, it's been Gent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can look at the name of his final split, you know, imagine finishing a run.
Yeah, I kind of wonder why he didn't quit out. Like, he was just, like, waiting. He's like, what if it lands? Like, I feel like he was just, like... I've had that moment as a runner as well. I'm going to switch over here to Dan and see what's happening. Going through the death cam to Sense Fortress right now. But I've had those moments as a speedrunner where I see something bad happening. And people will always laugh at me for this, but I see something bad happening and I register it, but I don't, like, react. So it's like I'm seeing it all in slow-mo play out and I just don't have the reaction to just, like, do something about it. So I'm just watching. I'm just like a silent observer. And I
Yeah,
feel like maybe that's
there's
probably how it felt for Gentov there.
yeah, exactly. There's a ton of possible reasons. Another potential one is just like pure confidence in yourself. Like you're convinced you're gonna hit the target, even if even if it looks a
Yeah.
little off, you have full faith in yourself, and then you fully commit to it hitting. And if it doesn't, then it's over. Rather than trying to play safe. Which I feel like confidence is a big part of this run. You've got to have that confidence in yourself to hit a lot of the difficult strategies. So I could definitely attribute that to Gent there.
I mean,
Can't get in the wall.
there's an appropriate saying in Sekiro, hesitation is defeat. It kind of
Exactly.
really is true in this case.
Exactly.
Like the sheer will on some of these runners has been the most impressive thing this weekend. Just the sheer will. So the runners have 31 minutes to get their last reset runs in. When the clock turns 1 a.m. in Central European time, so in 31 minutes, if they do not have a run going, they will not be allowed to get another run in. All runners that have a run going will be allowed to finish their current runs. And, we don't know whether it's going to go to completion. We don't know if it's going to world record. We don't know if it's going to shift up the standings. But, that's what the runners are aiming for.
What we do know is that Gentov is done. He stopped streaming.
Oh.
I understand. I feel for Gentov. I think he couldn't take it anymore after that run. 30 minutes maybe wasn't the right mindset for him to do it again. But you know what? I really commend Gentov's efforts this event. Like, really, just run after run. Like, how many attempts has he had? 87. This entire event. 3 days. That's a lot of runs, a lot of dedication into it, and really shaved their best possible time. It's like a 103.21 right now. 103.21. That's what Gentov is capable of, had everything worked out in his favor.
Yep, it's one of those things where even though he may not have got the run he wanted, even though it may seem like it's an unhappy ending, the experience and knowledge and overall skill that he would have gained from this event will be so invaluable going forward.
Yeah, so just a lot of love to Gent. Just big applause. Just amazingly done. Very awesome to see him partake in this event and how he gets better. But you know what? This might be a fantastic time to take a brief break. We need to run a 3-minute ad break. And since we have 30 minutes or 29 minutes on the clock for these runners to reset before they're cut off, this will be the best time to do it and follow Dan and all the other runners and see where they take these runs. So don't go anywhere. 3 minutes on the clock. We will be right back.